We as a human race are destroyers of the natural world. We rip it apart. There are Australian bushfires that have plagued the planet. The Amazon is on fire. There's terrible illegal mining that goes on everywhere where there is a natural habitat. There's huge timber operations in Indonesia. Everyone is trying to put a bridge or a highway or anything they can through nature's magical world. And not only that, we destroy species. We go after rhinos and demolish them for their horns, after elephants for their ivory. We destroy the habitats of the Indian wild buffalo. We even go for the tiger's eyes, whiskers, and their genitalia. We don't leave their skin and bones even. We don't stop there. We'll pluck the feathers from the great Indian pied hornbill, and we'll rip the skins off the otters that swim our waterways. We have flourishing illegal and legal wildlife markets in China and Southeast Asia, where live animals are traded, where live animals are cut, where you get civets, horseshoe bats, pangolins, snakes, and everything money can order. It's all about greed. I want you to look at some of the wild species before the next part of this film.
Next one now. Okay.
Yeah, he's eating fish.
Oh, it's a huge fish. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
It's in its paws. The telephone exchange है यार.
चल बैटरी खुली दे.
He's coming towards us. He runs, I love it.
Right में रहा.
For the last 30 years, a band of wildlife warriors, of environmental warriors, have been tirelessly working to stop the illegal trade in wildlife, to stop forests from being cut, to prevent global warming and climate change. I know from my colleagues the hard work that was done at international meetings to prevent China and Southeast Asian countries from promoting their wildlife markets, from promoting the breeding of wildlife species in their countries. They were warned that all this could boomerang, that infection, diseases and viruses could spread. Even in our northeastern Indian states, we have waged a non-stop battle to prevent animals from being poached. People like Belinda Wright, Debbie Banks have struggled with all of us to prevent the massacre that has taken place of wildlife in the last 3 decades. And the world has listened, but it's all yap, 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 yap at international meetings. No actions were taken. And what is the result? Today is June the 7th, 2020. The world has millions of coronavirus infections, COVID-19. There are hundreds and thousands of deaths all over the world. People are grieving. Economies have come to a standstill. The world has changed around. Life is paralyzed. Millions are under house arrest or lockdowns. Why? How did all this start? Where did this virus come from? 99% of the expert scientists in the world believe this virus came from a wild animal. Most believe it's a horseshoe bat. And after the swabs taken in the wildlife market of Wuhan in China, it's clear that wild animals there transmitted the coronavirus either directly or through an intermediary species, which could have been the pangolin. And if that didn't happen, a tiny percentage of experts believe that the experimentation on horseshoe bats in the virological laboratory at Wuhan may have accidentally let loose this virus. But it's quite clear that new viruses like the coronavirus are let loose because we destroy the natural world, because we rip apart natural ecosystems, because we force wild animals and human beings to come closer together. We don't respect their space. We don't respect their homes. We are ready to eat every aspect of their meat, their flesh. We mix up our rationale, believing that eating some of these animals gives us cures from various diseases. It's like the practice of traditional medicine. But this is hogwash. We know exactly what we are doing. These viruses don't come from Timbuktu. They come from those countries where people eat the most endangered species of the world. And I've looked at newspapers, I've looked at the electronic media. Nobody's talking about the cause and the origin of this virus. Nobody's talking about how to deal with the problem. What do we do to protect natural ecosystems? How do we save species? How do we get global bans on all illegal markets? That's our first priority, because economic recovery from this crisis, which will be enormously difficult, is only one issue. The next one is, how do we stop the next virus? That's only going to happen when we deal with how we save the natural world. So let's start talking about saving the natural world, because there will be another deadly virus in a few years that will devastate our planet. And let's never forget that the time has come to shame countries like China and all the other countries in Southeast Asia that consume wildlife, that are a part of the illegal wildlife trade. Every international symposium, every international meeting, they need to be shamed. They need to be embarrassed. It is not acceptable. This is not the way people behave. Till we respect nature and all its species, till we protect their ecosystems, we are not going to be safe. Our lives are under threat for what we have done to the natural world.